G'day everyone, this is Jackson Milan, the Wealth Mentor, co-founder and CEO of Aureus Financial.
Sam Panetta, COO and co-founder of Aureus Financial.
And welcome to our first Ask Aureus Anything question and answer live event. I've been in business for a while and I'm not sure how I should plan for my next phase of growth. So how do I make the time to plan properly? Fantastic. So this is a really good question, and I think it kind of ties in with the common theme. And I think once again, it's the time of year. Everyone's kind of in planning mode. Let's hope too many of you haven't broken New Year's resolutions yet. But goals planning is very, very important, particularly in business. The idea of being able to plan for your next phase of growth is about understanding what it is that you're actually trying to achieve. And I personally start with what I want to achieve as a person outside of my business. So how much income do I want to make? What level of wealth do I want to create for myself in order to achieve my personal goals? What are the lifestyle goals that I want to create in terms of my time or my pursuits, my hobbies, these types of things? And then I work out, okay, well, in order for me to be able to achieve all those things, then what does my business need to do? And obviously Sam and I are fresh in a new business, so we're going through this kind of goals exercise on a pretty much a day-to-day basis of just making sure that we're on track. And we're very clear on our next stage of growth and what we need to achieve. And as a result of that, it's about, well, once we achieve that, then we can derive more personal benefit for ourselves. And then once we've been able to work that out, we say, okay, well, what does the business need to do to pay me that amount of money? And then therefore, well, how does my business make that amount of money in profit after all of my costs? So then you can reverse engineer it the whole way back. Once again, purposely, I've tried to create a framework of that 90-day plan that works for personal and also business. We're just trying to make it a little bit more user-friendly, and we'll probably have it ready by next week. So I'll actually put that template on the community for people to work through.
It's a really good template. I think it's important to segregate your goals here. It's so easy for business owners to just get lost in the confusion of it all, and it's a double-edged sword, because business owners essentially have more, what would you call it, more opportunity to take control of their lifestyle planning, their lifestyle goals, more so than employees. They're more in charge of the day-to-day, how much business they bring in, how much revenue, but they've also got a lot more responsibilities. So with that being the case, a lot of them get stuck working in the business, and they never sort of take a step back and look at the overview of the business and go, all right, how do we take it from X to Y to reach my goals?
Yeah, and look, I think the other point here is getting clear on the types of goals that you're trying to achieve in your business. Something that I hear a lot is business owners talking about growing their revenue. And revenue doesn't mean a thing. Ultimately, you should be looking at either increasing your EBIT numbers or your net profit figures in your business, because that's the real money that's left over at the end of the day. Like, for example, we were recently talking to a client who, I guess, didn't have a clear understanding of the relationship between their revenue and their cost to serve. And what actually happened is the more they drove their revenue, actually, the more it was actually costing them from an expense perspective, given that they didn't really understand that relationship, and they're actually sending themselves further into the hole. So I believe that with planning, you need to know where you are, you need to know where you want to go, so then you can address the gap. So make sure you've got the right tools in your business to understand your numbers and how you're performing. Personally, we use Xero as our accounting system, like most small businesses do. But the reporting in Xero isn't the best. Its tool is really to be a bookkeeping and accounting tool, not a KPI or a numbers analysis tool. So we personally use Fathom HQ, which is an add-on to Xero. It allows you to extrapolate your data from Xero and really give you a complete financial and KPI dashboard so you can make better business decisions. The other good thing about it is that for a lot of people, they're intimidated by the numbers in their business. Like, what the hell's EBIT? What's my break-even point? What's all of these other things, like my asset ratio and my liquid ratio and all these other things in business where you have to be a CFO to understand it. Fathom gives you definitions for all these things and explanations of what it all means. So it allows you to educate yourself around the numbers in your business. You can set up the tool pretty quickly, pretty easily, The caveat to that is that your numbers are right in Xero, so make sure you've got a good bookkeeper and a good accountant, and make the time to understand your numbers and learn what it means to be a real business owner, a real entrepreneur, and that will help you plan more effectively.
Mate, I think that's so important. I know most of the people that are in business aren't in financial services, right? So they're not there. That's crunching the numbers is not their forte, right? Jackson and I are really good at it, right? We understand it. So in our business, we can crunch the numbers, and we do often a couple of times a week. But we still meet with our accountants every couple of weeks. We still meet with our bookkeepers every couple of weeks for someone else to have a look over their numbers, and that's coming from two people who do understand the numbers. Yeah. If you're running a business and you don't understand all the numbers, you need to get someone on your team who understands them, who can help you guys out. It's so important. You know, it's no longer about, you know, just being a marketing person or being a plumber or anything like that. Once you open a business, you're a business person first and a technician second. So you take that on board.
Yeah, I was having a conversation on Facebook the other day with a guy who's recently gone into business full time. And we were talking about, I guess, how you learn and I guess how you kind of develop as a business owner. And a mantra that I always have lived by is that you stick to what you know and you outsource everything else. And he questioned that. He goes, oh, well, if you do that, you'll never learn. And I said, yeah, you're right. But the idea of outsourcing everything else is that you outsource it to an expert who can, it's going to cost you money, but it's going to save you having to learn the hard way. And don't just pass it to them and just say, hey, tell me once it's done. Actually work with that person to understand what it is that they're doing and the reasons why. So that will help you address the knowledge gap that you have. And it may get to a point where you're still not going to take on that responsibility yourself because your time is probably better spent elsewhere in your business, but at least you have an understanding of what role that person is fulfilling, and you can hold them accountable to making sure that they're doing the right thing.
Yeah, no, good advice.
Cool.